Before there was a president, before there were courts, there was just Congress. The framers made that choice deliberately. Article 1 comes first because the legislative branch was meant to be the heart of democracy, the place where the people's voice becomes law. But they didn't stop there. They created a president to act and courts to interpret. 3 branches, 3 kinds of power, none complete without the others. Today, let's sit with all 3 and ask what they're still looking for from us. Article 1, the voice of the people. 2 chambers, the House, close to the people, elected every 2 years, passionate and immediate. The Senate, slower, more deliberate, designed to cool the fires of faction. This tension was intentional. The framers knew that good laws required both urgency and patience, both responsiveness and reflection. Today, we watch Congress gridlock, polarized, often paralyzed, and we wonder if it still works. Yet the question Article 1 poses is not whether Congress is perfect. It never was. The question is whether we still believe that ordinary people, through their representatives, can govern themselves. When we lose faith in Congress, we lose faith in ourselves. Article 2, the weight of leadership. The framers feared kings, yet they created a president. Article 2 is a study in contradiction. Enough power to lead, not enough to rule. Enough authority to act, not enough to act alone. The president commands armies, but cannot declare war. Negotiates treaties, but cannot ratify them. Enforces laws, but cannot write them. These limits were not weaknesses, they were wisdom. The framers understood that concentrated power, even in good hands, eventually corrupts. They built a presidency strong enough to unite, but constrained enough to serve. Today, we often look to presidents as saviors or villains, forgetting that the office was designed for neither. The presidency is not a throne. It is a trust, borrowed from the people, exercised on their behalf, and returned when the term ends. Do we want leaders who serve the office, or leaders who believe the office serves them? Article 3, the guardians of law. Justice delayed is not merely justice denied. It is trust broken. The judicial branch was never meant to be swift like vengeance, nor slow like indifference. Article 3 reminds us that courts exist to protect the vulnerable from the powerful, the individual from the mob, the truth from the convenient lie. When judges become politicians, when the law becomes a weapon rather than a shield, the people lose faith. Yet, when courts remain independent, answerable only to conscience and the Constitution, they become the nation's moral compass. Not perfect, never perfect, but necessary. Do our judges serve justice? Or do they serve the loudest voices in the room? Three branches, three kinds of power, each one limited, each one necessary. The framers didn't trust any single institution to hold the whole truth. They built a system of holy friction where ambition checks ambition and no one rules alone. It's slow. It's frustrating. It often feels broken. But perhaps that's the point. Self-governance was never meant to be easy. It was meant to be ours. These reflections come from The People's Promise to a Nation, where each principle is explored first through parable, where story meets spirit, and then through contemplation, like the one you've just heard. There's a link in the description for the book, The People's Promise to a Nation. It's there if you're interested. Thank you.